Good evening, good afternoon, good morning in some parts of the world. Big welcome to our Wow Wealth Wednesday. My name is Peter No. I am your Senior Presidential Director here tonight, and I have my beautiful co-host, Mrs. Amy Homsey, who is also our Senior Presidential Director. And before I edify her, I just want to say hello to everyone. If you are brand new here today, if you've been invited by one of our brand partners to hear some stories of our partners who have been here with us for a week, a month, a year, some of us few years, who have truly committed their time, their life to build a legacy business where they are helping thousands of people with their health. But when they start sharing their stories, they are creating major wealth, especially in today's times. If you are here and looking for health, time, and freedom, the three things that every human on this world deserves to have, and if you have not developed that in the last 2 to 3 years for yourself, make sure you get a pencil and a pen and a paper and take notes and listen to our brand new Senior Presidential Director and our brand new Presidential Director, the two highest ranks in LifeWave. And let's get this party started. So to share who my co-host is tonight, let me get her on. Her name is Amy Homsey. I've had the pleasure of working with her now almost 3.5 years, and I don't even know where the time has gone. It has just gone by. She's been in the direct sales industry for 30 years now. She is definitely a 7-figure earner in the direct sales industry, was featured in Success Magazine, and she's also in the natural health space for the last 30 years. She is now developing this beautiful concept, and she's the owner of My Holistic Health Club. She is a beautiful wife, an awesome mother, and an awesome nana, and that is her story. Amy Homsey, you take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Peter, and welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be here and honored because we have the newest presidential director and the newest Senior Presidential Director in the house tonight. And I'll tell you, Peter, when we started this 3.5 years ago, Bob and I, we were just blown away, right? And it's just gotten better and better and better. And I'll tell you what's more exciting than our success is when people on our team are getting success, right? That's what makes this, and that's what makes it so rewarding. So again, I'm so honored to be here. So welcome every single person on this call tonight. So Mary Lou, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes. Folks, let's give a round of applause. This is Mary Lou Mulcahy from Tampa, Florida, who just a week ago became Senior Presidential Director. I mean, it is the top position in the company. So we're honored to have you here tonight. I'm excited. So Mary Lou, we just want to dig a little deep tonight and find out who you are. And I know you're going to impart some wisdom and some nuggets on all of us. So I know you've been into the sales industry for 30 plus years with corporate America and marketing, and also the direct sales industry for about 10 years. So if you don't mind, why don't you share with us a little more about you? What's your background? What makes Mary Lou tick?
Oh boy. Well, thank you guys so much for asking me to speak, actually. So thank you. And so a little bit of background. I'm married for 35 years. I have 4 amazing children who are also in LifeWave. I will give that plug. They're loving it too. I have been, as Amy said, in the sales. I did outside sales for about 30 years. And the last 10 years, I've been in network marketing for the last 10 years. And I was in health and wellness, started 10 years ago because of some of my family were having some issues, some complicated issues with their health. And so at that point, I steered away from Western and went more alternative medicine. That's kind of the background on how I got involved in some other I was in another MLM. And then when I was introduced to this, I was introduced to LifeWave about, gosh, what is it now, Amy? Probably 3 years ago, around almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years, yes.
I'm one of those research people. So I don't know if Bob's on here, but when when he patched me, he's like, you should do this. I'm like, no, I got to research it. Don't stick anything on me. Don't put the patch on me. I got to research it. I got to make sure nothing's going in my body. So I was one of those people. Okay. I was one of them. And so now I make fun of people like that, but I was like, let me research it. And so I was like, okay, so he gave me some samples actually, and I did research it. And that's actually one thing that I really found valuable, and to give a plug to our team and LifeWave as a corporation of being, having the research available at our fingertips. And the patents were there, the studies were there. So I really liked that because it wasn't hard to dig and find it. It was transparent. And I'm one of those people that actually did read all the studies and did read all the patents. So by the time I did all that, it took me a few months to kind of, and then I was kind of like, okay, let me test it on my family first, before I send anything. So I did the basic thing. I did that. But oh my goodness, thank goodness I did that. And thank goodness Bob approached me on this. And when he asked me to do it as a business, I said, absolutely not. I said, I just did another company and I built like 28 teams. I'm like, I am tired and I'm getting older and I just don't want to do this anymore kind of thing. But I said, I love the product, I'll sell it. But of course, that didn't last more than a week or so. I started sharing it with everybody that I knew. So there you have that. So you never say never, right?
That's
Because
right. That's right.
it didn't take me long to get, so it took me a couple months to get really going. And once I saw the value and the I just kind of believe the life of itself, like the company itself, the ethics, it was just so refreshing. And it wasn't one of those Me Too products. And
Yes.
it's something, I value the fact that it was patented, that it was the only kind in the world like it. I started watching David Schmidt's YouTube videos originally. I saw his ethics. I saw him as a person. And so I loved everything about it right away, pretty much after I researched it.
Yes, and we hear that all the time because it just made sense, didn't it? Especially you got your result, your family got healthier, and now you want to share it with the world. So awesome. So you've been involved for about 3 years. What was your motivation, Mary Lou, to build this business? Because I know you didn't have to. You already had other businesses. You're a busy lady. I know you're involved in all sorts of things. What motivated you and why LifeWave?
What motivated me was when I started, I have been in the health and wellness industry for 10 years. And so when I was starting to see people start repairing their body from these patches and some pretty complicated issues, and I just really had it in my heart to help these people that honestly had no hope. They were told from doctors there was no hope for a lot of the things that they were dealing with. And I knew that they could, if they would just try the patches. And so I really was very devoted to just having them try it. So I always tell people, even my team, I tell them, the patch sells itself. And if you would talk to my team, which happened, if you would talk to my team, literally everybody on my team says they're not a salesperson. Like 3/4 of my team say, I'm not a salesperson. I'm like, well, thank goodness. I said, you don't have to be a salesperson. And they're the ones that are amazing. I love my team. And they all stick together and they all claim they're not salespeople, but I said, you don't have to be a salesperson. You let the product do its job, what your job is. And I say this all the time, even when I do events and everything, I'll tell people, my job here today is to introduce you to the company and to this amazing product. The job of the product is to work, which we already know it does. So I never have a fear it's not going to work. I always know it's going to work. And so but I always tell people that my job is not to be a salesperson. I tell them, I'll patch them and say, well, let me know how you feel. I let it do its job. And so that was one thing. Why LifeWave? Because there's nothing like it in the world. From a business standpoint, of course, I'm a business person as well. The other company I was in, I was very high up. So I do look at the business aspect as well. And if you actually put it on paper, it had every foundational complement to this company for a fact of it's not a new company. It's been around since 2004. So it was foundationally sound. The products he's always coming up with new product line, the same product, but different aspects of it, which I like that it wasn't stagnant. the growth, I started seeing the growth in, and I got involved obviously after the X39 was introduced. So I got that advantage of saying, okay, stem cells, I knew that was kind of the wave of the future. And I knew people knew about stem cells, but I also knew that they didn't know about the product and the company.
Right.
And so I thought, and from a business standpoint, if you look at those things on paper, a foundationally strong company, a very fast growing company, international company, global, different countries, those, and then have a manufacturing plant that can actually sustain the productivity and the level of that we can keep up with the demand. Okay, those are all important things as a business builder. And then, of course, the patents, the science. We could go into some of these places that might require some of these documents so they would know that it would work. So my previous thing, we didn't have all those documents and didn't have the research. And now I felt comfortable going, okay, here's the research, look at it yourself, it works, So those are kind of why I went with Lifeway, between the business aspect and the product worked. And it was actually, the other thing is it's extremely simple and it's non-invasive. So, I was like, oh my gosh, why wouldn't you do this, right? There's no drug, of course, there's no drugs, there's no tox. I don't know why anybody wouldn't give it a shot, honestly. A shot's a bad word. Give it a try.
I know, man, I'm laughing with you because it's so true. And I say and think the same things every day, right? Putting this patch on is much simpler than taking my vitamins. Okay. It's like so simple. So awesome. So I know you've been in the direct sales industry for 10 years. You've built a big business with a previous company, but share with our audience this evening, how is this build different? What is different about this and anything you've done in the past?
Okay. It is night and day. I will tell you, it is complete opposite. As I mentioned before, I was with another company, it's very high, but I built every team. I built like 28 teams. So it was a very hard process. It took a lot of hours and a lot of time. And so what's different about this company is honestly what you've heard probably many times is you sit in the nooks and crannies of your life. But the other thing is that it is duplicatable. And that's why it's simple. And at first, Peter can probably test this. I try to make it more difficult at first. He can tell you, I would try to make it harder than it was. I was not the most duplicatable person. I'm not even saying I'm the best duplicatable person, but I got a lot better at duplicating. But it's our system that works. Okay, you guys, we preach that all the time. And the 3-3-3 or whatever, be consistent. It really is a consistency thing. It's I've been in sales a long time. And I've worked with major corporations before, and it's always been a numbers game, you guys. It's always been a numbers game. You will find the people, don't get discouraged if you have 9 no's in a row or whatever. You cannot take it personally. I learned that a long time ago, and I don't take it personally. I'm like, okay, it wasn't their time. And the worst thing they can do is say no. Honestly, the worst thing they can do is say no. And you're like, okay, great. Thank you for letting me introduce you to it. If you ever need anything, let me know. And you walk and you move on. I always tell people the worst thing is a maybe. Maybes will kill you. A yes and a no is great. Maybes you keep following up, and they take a lot of your time. I'd rather have a no than a maybe, honestly. And I can move on and go for the yes, right? And so you just have to find the right people. They're out there. I know some of my team are like, oh, I love these people. And I keep them motivated. My job is to help them keep motivated and show them that there are people out there that love this, and that they just have to find, it's just a number, just keep use the system. Do the 3-2. If you do the system, if you literally do it every day, you cannot fail. The only reason you would fail in this company is if you quit, honestly. You won't make it. I can't tell you when, but it could take a year. It could take you 5 years. I don't know. If you made this income in 10 years, I don't know a regular job that you can make the income that you can make with this even in 10 years. Even if you went
Absolutely
10 years. That's what I tell my team. It doesn't really matter how fast you go. I love, and I tell them I'll go as fast as you want to go or go as slow as you want to go. But I said, my thing is, why would you want to go slow when you can go fast? It's just my personality. So I'm like, if you want to, why do you want to go slow? If you can go fast, I help you. But that's just my kind of personality. But the system itself, what Amy was getting to, is it's duplicatable. It's not complicated. It's simple. It's very, very easy. I think everybody can understand our system, which is critical. And I tell people all the time, don't make it complicated. Like I was trying to do in the beginning. Don't make it complicated. Just do what just do 3-3. And now it's 3-3-3. And it works. It truly does work if you just stick with it. And I think the main thing is consistency, I would say, and follow up.
Yes.
Those two things are probably the most critical, I think.
Now, Mary Lou, would you say being coachable helps?
Oh, 100%. I'd much rather have a coachable person than, yes, 100%. I could have somebody with all the talent in all the world, and they could have the most potential. I could think they have the most potential. If they're not coachable, it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult for me to help them succeed. Coachable is, they have to have an open mind, coachable, trainable, mindset's really big. I believe in a lot of mindset. I believe in a lot of positivity. And I talk with all of my teammates, and I say, like, where do you want to be? If I don't know where they want to be, I don't know how to get them there. So I honestly have a conversation with them and say, where do you want to be like next year? Like, what, I even get to the point, like, how much money do you want to make? I mean, we do have to talk about money sometimes, right? And I'm like, what would you, and some people, a couple $100 is all they need to change their lives. So really, other people, it's a lot more. So you kind of, and I say, okay, let's get a plan. Let's get you there. You know what I mean? Like, if I know where you want to go and by what time, we need to get a plan up so we can kind of mentor you to get you where you want to be. And that's kind of how I coach my team. I don't know if everybody does that, kind of how I coach.
No, and that makes perfect sense, right? Getting to know them, because after all, this is relationships. It's
100%,
relationships.
100%.
So just two more things real quickly. What is your vision going forward with LifeWave, with your team, or how do you see this vision, with your personal life via the vehicle LifeWave?
Okay, a couple different things. Personally, my vision would be to continue going around the world like I do, and speaking for different organizations and things, trying to get them familiar with this company and how the patches can actually help each and every one of them. That's a big my personal aspect of that, because I really do think more people need to know about it. Financially, of course, I would like to see my team grow like it's been doing. It's been snowballing amazingly. And so as a vision to get everybody on my team, because, this is one of the few MLMs or network, whatever you want to call this. It's one of the few ones that actually, when you do help your team, you rank yourselves. When you help people get to their goals, you automatically get to yours. And so my goal is to honestly help my team get to where they all want to be within the next year, and just help them, mentor whatever I can do to get them there, and just support them in whatever aspect that they need it in, and also see the company as a company as a whole, see how it can grow. And I know it's growing amazingly right now, but even with the new products that we know are coming out in October, just kind of support that and support the company as a whole and move forward at the same momentum that the company is going to be going at.
Right, absolutely. And one more thing, just share a couple nuggets with everyone. We have some brand new brand partners on the line. Just share a couple words of wisdom or nuggets that you could impart on us. Okay.
Well, one I mentioned, never give up. Even if you get discouraged, you will get discouraged, you guys. I'm telling you up front, you're gonna get frustrated sometimes. It's just a fact of MLMs or any business. Actually, you're gonna get so frustrated sometimes. Be coachable yourself. Go with the system and really help the people that want to be helped, and don't want it more than they want it, if that makes sense. You don't want to drag people. I've done it many times before, and you don't want to do that here. You don't have to do it here. You do not have to drag people with you. You will find the right people. I'm not saying like drop them like a hot potato, but you coach them and you tell them, when you're ready, it's fine. If you're not quite there yet, it's totally fine. But don't drag them, if you know what I mean. You want to get people that are coachable and that will trust you and trust the system. And I think that's probably the big, and just be able to mentor them, honestly, be able to be related, like it's a relationship. If even in sales, if they don't like you, I don't care how good your product is, and this is just something from sales, I don't care how great your product is, if they don't particularly like you or you offend them, they're probably not going to buy from you. I don't care how good the product is, they're going to go somewhere else and to another person. And so just remember that there's just little nuggets on just be nice. Be nice, be friendly. Honestly, it's not hard.
And you truly have a heart to care and want to help people, right?
But people will know if you don't truly believe in the product and you don't truly care about them, they will know that. People are not, they are smart. they will know, because I know that
Mhm.
people tell me all the time, oh my gosh, Mary Lou, your passion. And that's actually the biggest compliment somebody can give me, is when they tell me that I have
Yes.
a passion for this, because and I do. It means that they see
Mhm.
that it's not a one-time sale. It's not a sale, but it's not, I'm just selling to make money to have a sale. They know the difference, you guys, and be authentic.
Mhm.
Really, really be passionate about this product.
Absolutely. Wow. 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 Well, I want to personally thank you so much for coming on here, and congratulations again for your success. And I know you have an amazing team, and now we're going to reach down and help them get where they need to be, right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so much. Wow, Peter. It is Wow Wealth Wednesday, isn't it? Wow.
I
So Peter,
yeah.
I'm gonna turn it over to you, but let me properly introduce you. I've had the pleasure of working with Peter now for the past 3.5 years, and it's an honor, Peter. You are one of my mentors, so thank you. Peter is a senior presidential director with LifeWave. He got there in a short 20 weeks, folks, but I will tell you a little bit of background. Peter was a young entrepreneur, so he became a salon owner at the age of 20. At the age of 20, owned salons for 10 years. He left the beauty industry 20 years ago to become involved with direct sales. So he has been in this industry for 20 years. He has developed international teams which produced hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, ladies and gentlemen. That is huge. Again, he ranked up in the top position in LifeWave in a short 20 weeks. His anniversary is coming up, 4 years with LifeWave. And I'll tell you, all the success that Peter has had, he's done it without a college degree. Okay, so it can be done. Peter, take it away and share our next testimonial.
Wow, what a great call already so far. Thank you so much, Mary Lou, and everyone. Our newest presidential director. Before I introduce him, once in a while in the last 20 years, you meet great people, right? You meet great leaders, but sometimes there's this brother from another mother, okay, that just our minds just click the same. We have the same mindset, and let me introduce you to him. His name is Eric Beal. He spent 18 of his last 32 years in 3 different network marketing companies. 13 of those 18 years were full-time. It's exactly my story too. At the age of 28, he reached a top position in a Texas-based company. He's been a general contractor for over the last 16 years, married to an incredible, beautiful wife, Sabina, who he loves and fills with bundle of joy. This guy is the most humblest and also the most positive man. And I'm so happy and so proud for him to be on our organization. Eric, are you on with us?
Thanks, Peter.
So, Eric, I know you have a lot. You've done a lot. You've been here with a lot. Just really quick, just why did you join us? What did you see? And I'm going to go straight into the questions.
Sure. Hey, everybody. Peter's 20 years. And Mary Lou, that was awesome. Thanks for sharing. I love that you loved it fast. That's amazing. So Peter, you've gone 20 years straight through. I've done this, right? So when you talk about being consistent, like I was inconsistent. We've been dreaming for 30 years of finding this, literally. And so the joy I feel, I mean, every day we wake up and it's this immense joy and this gratitude that's just overwhelming. And then this sense of awe and wonder that we even have this available. Yeah, we got involved. I joined, I'm 6'6", 220, Danish, Viking, German, Scottish. If you're not laughing, you don't know. Hard-headed, stubborn, think we know everything, all that stuff. We're working on that. But so yeah, a friend called me out of Wichita, and just through this miraculous, serendipitous set of crazy life events, he said, Eric, what have you heard about stem cells? And so this was February a year ago, and we just launched this German technology frequency thing, and that was exciting. And our contracting season starts in March. So, we ramp up in February. So that's 6 days a week, sun up to sundown, 9 months, and then we take 3 months off. That's just our world. And so Ron said, what have you heard? And I immediately knew in my spirit, I knew in my heart, in my intuition, I just rang this vibration of this is important. I didn't know much. I just said, Ron, I know they're important. I know it's huge, but inside I just knew, Eric, pay close attention. But the challenge was this weird thing happened where I said, Ron, I have this strong sense we're supposed to meet in person. And I don't know what that, and I even said, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. We can't do this on Zoom because I don't like technology or Zoom. I left the last thing we had rocking and rolling because I didn't want to do Zoom. When COVID hit, I was like, I'm out. Peace. So I said, let's meet in person. So if we played phone tag for 5 weeks and we just couldn't get because he's, 6-hour round trip. So I said, let's both just drive 3 hours, meet in Little Emporia, Kansas. And it didn't happen. So the season kicked off. I got busy and it just slid off. I don't watch videos. He kept sending me, he did his job, sent me podcast after podcast. I never watched the 3-minute. I just was like, I knew I had to get with Ron. 5 months later, in the middle of the night, I have a vivid dream that clearly says, you get out of bed and you call Ron and get that information, not today, not tomorrow, not next week. And so I called him at Dark 30 and said, Ron, we got to meet today. When can you get to Emporia? He said 10 o'clock tonight, done, Brahms. And that's where it started. So hard-headed, stubborn. It took like a knock on the skull, but that's where it started. And it's just been this incredible. So we still took the winter off. So September 1st got started, took basically a week before Thanksgiving to March 15th, just traveled with my sweetie and didn't do anything. Got on a couple podcasts, made one call to somebody to kind of straighten out some other business. And that was it. And then March, we took off. Unfortunately, Corey Dykman is a great, and Shannon Hawks, great dear friends of mine. We've worked together for years, and he kept going and he connected me and some of our friends to Peter and also Bob Campbell. He's like, he just randomly happened to be on a train and he said, Eric, there's this Bob Campbell. He's got this script and it works. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Right. And then he said, hey, there's this Peter No guy. And we were in a company separately together at different times. And I said, let's get on a call. So we gathered up 5 people and Peter. And I said, Peter, look, I've helped a lot of people in these things, but not 40,000 in 4 years. Tell me what you've done. I will. And he said, Eric, and thank God I heard him. He said, Eric, the secret sauce, everybody write this down, because this changed our whole trajectory of our whole life forever. The secret sauce is the live podcast. And there's an energy and a joy there. It's like being, watching a video of Niagara Falls or being at Niagara Falls or watching a video of the Super Bowl or being on the 50-yard line. It's not the same. And so I thought, well, how do we get people to the live? Because I've got 4 shots at a night. And then we just basically, none of these ideas we came up with to duplicate, like Mary Lou's talking about, we just tightened up the system. We didn't change it. We just tightened it. Yep.
Everybody, you've heard it. You've heard the story when he was introduced, but Eric did not really start building until March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 6 months, Eric. That's all it took. And let's go into your background. With your background in the industry, when you know that calling was in your heart, but when you really started to turn on, you plugged right into our system, right into the 333 PPP. But I really, the way that your brain works, you really pick things and you dial it in. What has been the dial-in for you that really got your team going? What is the simplicity that you use that got your team really duplicating so quickly? Okay, I want people to hear that on this call.
So Bob Campbell, Corey said Bob Campbell script, and when we looked at that script, it's pure genius. Like it hits the subconscious mind. And I headed to Houston, and there's 400 people down in Houston a few months ago. And the very first patient that walks up, we don't know each other from Adam's house cat. And there's Bob Campbell. We start talking. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. And he said, Eric, every word counts. It hits the subconscious mind. The word finally is in there for a reason. And so when I use the word community, because to me, look, a team is a positive word, and we need that word. But on the subconscious, there's going to be a battle, and somebody's going to lose, right? We've already won. All of us have won. We've got LifeWave and David Schmidt. We're all here. So community is a word. But what we did is we looked at your PPP, and in that PPP, and I do want to mention one thing. I'm just going to say it. So at step 3 in the PPP, when we get on a Zoom, we always do this together in twos. You've heard that before, right? Go out in twos. three, right? It's not good luck, go get them, Tiger. We do it together and there's support. So our job is support and education. So I love what Mary Lou said. This is not a sales process. We stay as far away from the word sales as possible. We don't talk about money, opportunity, business at all. And I told Marcy, I said, we slice off the 20 seconds on the 3 minute because I just don't want their mind going there. So of the 3 minute on the Start X39 now. So when we start these calls, and I just tell people that sharing your story is important, right? And so the first thing I share is I tell people, I say, look, I'm going to share very quickly. I wanted to see this David Schmidt guy. So I bought a plane ticket, went to Florida this February, and he was in a room of a few hundred. And he said something that was just riveting to me. Towards the end, he said, let's talk about the science of unconditional love. He had my full attention. And he describes that. And then he said, you know what? And before I say this last part, because we're talking to people all over the world with all sorts of faith beliefs, but this spoke to me and I knew this doesn't happen every 150 years. 130 patents in regeneration, 130 patents, 70 in regenerative science. And he said, after he said, let's talk about the science of unconditional love, at the end, he said, and I have friends who are devout Buddhists. I have friends who are Baptists. I have a few friends who are atheists. I love them all equally. This is not about someone's beliefs. It's about the seed of this, the beginning of it. And he said, I'm going to open this up for questions. I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. And the first hand shot up and he said, how did you develop this marriage? And he said, immediately, I didn't. I don't take credit. I said a prayer. He said, every day going in that lab for 10 years, I would ask for help. So I immediately recognized we have a guy with the humility and wisdom to ask, a guy with the intelligence and his field of a Nikola Tesla, and the perseverance to bring this about. So this is a gift. And that's the first conversation I have when we get them to the order process. So the third party, so it's 3 simple steps. P, P, P. What is P? Peak. What have you heard about stem cells? Corey Dykman and I laugh because this PPP zip it, we made a zip it video, meaning zip it. So for years, Corey and me and everybody else was out there, blah, 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 in our other companies, getting nowhere, right? You know, the Muppets doing the jazz ensemble, phenomena, do. That's exactly what network marketers are doing, right? So after you ask the question, what have you heard about stem cells? We completely zip it, completely, and let them say whatever they're going to say. And then you say, I finally found something life-changing. I'm going to have you watch a little 2.5-minute video. If you like what you see, I'll show you how I'll show you how you can get it wholesale like us. That's as far as we ever say about business, money, or opportunity. It's completely off the table. Our community laughs and calls me the soup Nazi because I'm like, you're not going to talk, no soup for you. We're not talking business. And then they're curious. So this is what changed it. So when you said live podcast, we started reverse engineering. Well, how do we get them to the movie? It's about the movie, the live podcast, right? I mean, if you were walking with 2 or 3 of your friends into the greatest movie, you knew it was Titanic or Braveheart or Gone with Me, whatever it was, you knew it was the greatest movie ever. And 2 or 3 of your girlfriends or your buddies, and you got your popcorn, and all of a sudden you go, hey guys, let me tell you how this ends. And you just blast everything about the movie to them. How uncool is that? That's what some network marketers are doing. It's horrible. No wonder everybody has psychic trauma. It's not a victory, right? So, and I don't take credit for any of this stuff. Corey and Lizzie and Ron and you and Claudia and Marcy, this all came together just miraculously, really, in my opinion. So we stopped spamming blah, 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 mana, and zipped it. We got them to the 2.5-minute video. And we say, and I don't spam the video. I do not send out or text or email that X39 now. This is such a hot idea. They're going to turn around and you just train them to spam it to 100 people, and you can't reel it in. You just lit the fox's tails on 100 bucks and sent them through the cornfield. You can't dial that back. It's happening in real time. We're talking to people who've been talked to 2 years ago, and they asked me the question, and that's where it ended. They're like, we want to do this, and we needed some guidance. And so when they watch that, and this is critical, this changed it for us. We had everybody in the community stop emailing and texting. Just stop and watch what will happen. And that we have them go down. I didn't do my screen share. Peter, we have time to do this real quick because this is a critical piece, because we think in movies, at least I do. Let me pull this up real quick, and I'll just walk you through how we do it. I think it'll be a better visual.
Okay, I'm gonna do this real quick.
I got it here. If you gonna allow me to screen share?
Boom, there you go. You're
Okay.
a coach.
All right. And I am not a tech person. I barely can do Zoom, so just bear with me. I'm not joking about that. That's really seriously. Okay, so I click over here, Okay, so So you guide them. So they are either on the phone with you or they're sitting right next to you. You have it, or you can get them on the phone and have them open it on their device. And I say, okay, I'm going to give you very specific instructions. See where it says stem cell activation? Stop reading. And you've got a relationship with them, right? You can kind of be a little forceful. Stop reading. Kelly, my friend Kelly, stop reading. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Okay, you see the dead, tell me when you see the little boy's dead fingertip. You see it? Yep. You see the woman that looks like mother-daughter, 3 pictures and glasses? Okay, that's our friend Marcy. That's not mother-daughter. Okay, now, Kelly, stop. Kelly, listen, because she's looking, oh my gosh, the cloudy eyed. Kelly, stop, stop. Go up, go right above that. You see the 2-minute video? It says video 2, 3-minute. I want you to press play on that. And I'm going to wait. It's only 2.5 minutes. Please stop it at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Why? Because I don't want to go, if you knew about the next thing for, what does that smell like? Sales breath, right? Just stop it, right? You can tell a mile away. And so when she finishes that, now here's why we guide them there. It shows people step by step. So we're just guiding them. They see the dead fingertip. They go up, they watch the video. And then this is the second hardest zip it. You zipped it after you ask the question. They see the first pre-qualify. You zip it, you wait. Now, when I tell them stop looking, everybody has a teenager inside of them. What happens when you tell a teenager not to do something? All the moms are like, yeah, okay, we get no more explanation needed. So we haven't stopped the video. And then when that 2-minute video is done, you have zip it, and it's going to get, this is designed to get all the weirdness out and make it natural. You just sit there quietly. The dead fingertip hit their subconscious mind. And Marcy's picture, they want to know. So they're going to ask you a question if you sit there long enough. And you sit there. And if it's too uncomfortable, you just, like, silence is the language of God. Everything else is poor translation.
Wow, Eric.
Everything comes out of silence and goes back to silence. So just go back to silence, sit there comfortably. And if you have to say interesting, right? Or exciting, huh? You can throw that in there, but you sit. And they're going to ask, are you using this? What's next? What do we do? And you say, this is what and this is the only thing I contributed. And you should get it. You do what you want to do, but I would recommend getting an 8.5 by 11 card or whatever the little 3 by 5 and writing this in your handwriting, questions, highlight it, and then write. That's a great capital G-R-A-T. That's a great question. You're going to have even grab a notepad. You're going to have even more after this last video. And then we will get all your questions answered. You create your future with your tongue. You literally create what's going to happen. There's power of life in your tongue. There's other powers too, but we won't talk about that. So they don't know where to go, so guide them. Grab a notepad. You're going to have even more questions. That's a great question. And then watch this video. So how many follow-ups did you eliminate? All of them.
All of them.
All of them. And then they're going to say, well, and I say, well, look, while you were watching that 2.5 minute, I sent you a little testimony. It's already in your phone. Watch that. So they just asked you a question. You got them the podcast, the recording. And then you say, when do you want me to answer those questions? Tonight or tomorrow or the next day or so? My calendar is blank 2 days out. The whole group knows it because we do everything within the next day and a half. I don't do phone tag, right? So they ask you a question, you answer it back. When do you want me to answer it? The next day or so. And then you have your follow-up book. So you went from 1 to 1. And then, hey, I'm going to have my friend Tim or Carol or Kelly or Amy or Mary Lou and I'm going to have them on standby because I might not be able to answer all the questions. I might stumble through this, but I'm going to have some backup. So they don't feel ambushed. You just want people to know they're supported, that it's comfortable. And here's what I learned from my buddy and my business partner, Troy Zollars, and he's freaking brilliant, is these processes. Step 3 is not the third party. It's the podcast. The recording is the third party validation. So the step 3 is we have them schedule a Zoom or a 3-way call if we have to. Zoom's better because we can show the crown packs. And I never take somebody to a LifeWave site. StartX39 now is not a LifeWave site. It's our community. Your Amy, Mary Lou, your community is within our community, which is within Evolve's community. So we all work together and we're all following the same pattern. And then in that order process, we just ask them questions about what they need, show them the packs. And so they're asking their questions at the wholesale pack. Do not meet resistance with resistance. If you get resistance, You simply say, if they can't watch a 2.5-minute video, here's the resistance. We want to eliminate the resistance so this blessing can get to their circle of friends and family. If there's resistance, I threw my excitement up over one family member, and she threw it up over our matriarch, and that one's going like this. It cost my family member a lot because we didn't have the tools. We didn't know.
Wow.
But when they say, when you get resistance at the 2.5-minute video, and you probably shouldn't, you say, hey, great, no worries. It seems like the timing's probably not right for you. Do you mind if I check back in a couple months just to give you an update? Nobody wants to be called every couple days or couple weeks, but you let them off the hook.
Eric, I think everybody asked for it. You wanted to know how he became SPD in 6 months. Literally, you just got it, everyone. So what a call tonight, Eric. I know we want to go in deeper, but we're literally out of time. My last question for you, and we talk about this every time we have a conversation. Where do you see LifeWave going?
Saturation. Saturation, pure saturation. Everybody's going to get asked the question. Look, there's fear and desire. So this is what I love about David. In the presence of unconditional love, all fear is cast out. So your fears are not about what these people think of you. It's an internal thing that you're thinking of. You're thinking of rejection and embarrassment. I love every one of you on this call because you're willing to step up and face that, knowing I know you have a big heart and you're going to be misread and misinterpreted and potentially attacked and misunderstood for sure. So the fact that you're all here and willing to contribute your time and your energy is no small thing, and I love you for it because the world needs it. So we're going 500 levels deep into community legs very quickly, but the goal is to teach the teachers how to teach the teachers how to teach, and then we can all be free together and go to these countries that need it and do all the patching samples we want to do. I mean, we can literally shift this overnight.
Wow. Everyone, now you know why our organization is so amazing, because we have leaders like Eric and Mary Lou and each one of you on here. Eric, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I think I'm going to see you at convention, and we're definitely going to celebrate your success and your entire team success. Mary Lou, I can't wait to see you, give you a hug and see everybody there. Everyone, did you learn something today? Do you feel wealthy today by just the knowledge that we have just learned right now in the last 45 minutes? And we never do these calls past 30 minutes, but it is just one of these calls, Eric. I already knew we're going to go over. And again, thank you both for tonight. And this recording is in the books. Amy, what are your last words you want to leave with our audience tonight?
Wow, I'm just blown away, Peter. But I always tell the team, people don't care what we know until they know that we care, right? So like Mary Lou said, like Eric said, just be genuine and authentic. We have the best product in the world. People need help. It's affordable, it's effective, it's simplistic, and it works. Just go out there and care about people. Wow. I'm going to leave with this. It took us 4 years, and this is still our 4-year anniversary, everyone. This September is not done yet. We're over 70,000 partners. So what Eric said is, when we expand and grow, we are growing. This call tonight is not just with Eric and Mary Lou, but it is all of us in our entire Team Evolve community. It is called our Wealth Wednesday, where we get to open up and share. So I just want to close with this call. 7.8 billion people in the world have cells. We are the only company, the only technology, the only solution to regenerate and repair everyone for less than a cup of coffee a day. If you know someone that needs to watch this podcast and hear this message, if you know builders, entrepreneurs, heck, housewives, teachers, everybody needs to, if you hear these words, please share this and bring them to our community. And what Eric said,
and what we have built here. Show them the podcast and let the rest do its thing. So this one is going down in the books. Again, Mary Lou, huge congratulations. Eric, we'll see you at the SPD level. Amy, love you for joining us, and Team Evolve, we love you. Thank you for showing up every night. What a Wednesday it's been today, and we will see you mañana. Bye, everybody. Love you all.
Be blessed, everyone.
Wow, what a call tonight. Bye, everyone.